Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, do subscribe and give a thumbs up if you like this video. Prime Minister Modi has announced a new vaccination policy. Today in this video, we will try to understand main features, why the policy has changed and impact of the change. First, the main features. In the policy, first big change is that now the vaccine will be available freely for 18 to 44 group of people also. Earlier, it was free only for people who were above 45 years of age. When the central government started the vaccination drive in January, it was decided that first people of age group 60 to 45 years will be vaccinated, frontline workers, people with vulnerabilities, these people will be first vaccinated. However, as the second wave picked up and it started affecting younger people this time, the policy needed change and it was decided that 18 to 44 group of people should be vaccinated too as early as possible. However, delay in the vaccine procurement and various other factors led to the vaccine shortage. This made state governments to demand more autonomy in vaccine procurement, which resulted in a liberalized vaccination policy in which the state governments were allowed to procure 25% of the manufacturing capacity and give it to the people either free or charge them. It depended on the state government. Now the central government was procuring 50%, state governments were procuring 25%, and private companies were procuring 25%. This is how vaccine procurement was going on. The new vaccination policy means that central government will now procure 75% of the vaccines and give it to the state governments for free. This means that state governments will also distribute these vaccines free of cost to their people. However, 25% of vaccines are still reserved for the private companies, hospitals to procure, but now the service charge has been capped at rupees 150. Covaxin is available for rupees 1200 for private companies to procure. Now private hospitals, private companies can charge only 150 rupees over and above it as their service charge, and it will be available now at rupees 1350 at private centers. Similarly for Covishield, it will be available at rupees 750 at private centers. So these are the big changes in the vaccination policy. This will be implemented after 2 weeks, that means after June 21st. Why the liberalized vaccination policy needed change? First of all, the big problem was that the states were not able to procure from the global market because the global vaccine companies declared that they will not deal with the state governments, they will deal only with the central government, and the domestic companies declared their inability to provide vaccines to all the state governments at a given time. This created huge gap between supply and demand. Second big problem with the liberalized vaccination policy was that vaccine companies were making super profits. There was no cap on service charge and they were trying exorbitant fees as their service charge. It also increased wasteful competition between state government, central government and private players because all were competing to procure the vaccines from the same manufacturers. There was lack of transparency, inefficiency. Nobody knew who was supposed to do what. This new change in policy has defined the work that central will procure, give it to the state government for free, and now the state government will give it to their people. Also, Supreme Court has declared the liberalized policy as irrational and arbitrary. It asked if 35,000 crore was set aside in the union budget for procuring the vaccines, then why it could not be spent to give free vaccines for 18 to 44 age group of people. The center is yet to file the affidavit on this question. However, it has changed the policy and the game too. Although Prime Minister Modi has blamed the state government on their inefficiency and blamed them for creating this mess because according to the central government it was the demand of the state governments to give more autonomy so that they can procure themselves the vaccines. However, they were not given the funds to procure the vaccines. Whether the central government was to blame for this vaccination mess or the state governments are to blame, we will leave this for the news media to pass on the judgments. We will discuss the impact of this change. This will make the vaccines more affordable because the manufacturing companies were charging different rates from the state government and different rates from the central government. Since all the vaccines will be now procured by the central government, vaccines will be more affordable. Next, since it has been made free for all age group, It is believed that the vaccination drive will now pick up the pace. Transparency is also expected because now we know who will procure the vaccines for us and who will distribute it. However, there is still some doubt regarding vaccine inequity because first, the 25% reservation for private companies means that the 25% vaccine reserved for rich people. Also, these 25% of vaccines are mostly being procured by big conglomerates, big private hospitals, and the tier 3 cities. The rural areas are still devoid of the vaccines which are available in private. But we hope that this new policy change will help us to vaccinate our country as early as possible. So this was all for today. I hope you like this video. Give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Have a very nice day.